Welcome to the Biltmore Estates. We're in Asheville, North Carolina, and we're going to dive into everything Biltmore, from the house, the gardens, the grounds, and Antler Hill Village to do some wine tasting. Before we start our adventure, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now follow me as we start our journey. Coming here can be a little bit complicated. The tickets to the house are timed. What we did is we got here early to take advantage of having less crowds to tour some of the gardens as well as the grounds. Basic admission is $75 to $100, does depend on the day and the season. You can purchase a rooftop tour or a private tour as well, but those prices can be a little bit more expensive. So you want to check out the website to view all the options and see what fits your taste. We're starting our adventure at the majestic gardens at Biltmore Estate. From the pictures that we've seen, it looks magnificent, a work of art. So let's go see what the gardens have in store for us. Right next to the main house is the Italian Gardens. It used to be called the Garden Terrace, but in the 30s they changed the name, and it's no wonder why. It has a very Italian, European vibe that they were going for. And what's really cool about this is when you start your gardening experience, this is very pristine, clean cut, and then as you go deeper into the gardens, it becomes more wild and more natural of the North Carolina environment. The gardens at Biltmore are reminiscent of Longwood Gardens, and if you're a fan of this channel, you know we love going to Longwood Gardens, so it's really cool to see that the DuPont family as well as the Vanderbilt family are trying to do the same type of thing with their gardens, and it's just absolutely stunning. When you go through the shrub garden, it's like going into the forest. Obviously, there are a lot of trees and shrubs, but what's really unique about this garden is that there's two NC champion trees. One right behind me, which is the river birch, and the other one is the golden rain tree, which we don't know a lot about trees, so we don't know which one it is, but it's somewhere in the shrub garden, but both are really cool and unique to see. The azalea and spring garden are filled with blooms during springtime. Since we came here during the summer, not as many blooms, more green, very lush, still very kept and in pristine condition. So if you're coming here in the springtime, I think this is definitely worth it. In off season, maybe not as much. The walled garden is 4 acres that in the springtime are filled with tulips, fall filled with mums, and of course during summertime, perennial flowers that are on display. It just looks absolutely stunning at the beauty and the care that are taken into consideration. Entering the rose garden can be overwhelming as there's so many different varieties of roses, but what is really cool and unique is that some of the roses are from the Vanderbilt time from 1895, so you could walk among the same type of roses that the Vanderbilts walked among, and of course there's some modern varieties of roses as well. The conservatory is one of the must-do things to see in the gardens. It houses orchids, palms, and other tropical plants. Let's go inside and check it out. The conservatory is broken up into 3 parts: the main section, the cool house, and the hot house. There are just so many tropical plants that it can be overwhelming. Oh, it looks like we got the succulent house with the cactus and some other succulents. I wonder if they have that moonflower that we saw at Longwood. This is the main house. I do wish they had labels. I mean, there's so many plants, I just wish there were labels on them. That way I could know what they are.
You're not a plant expert?
Far from it. Although that guy looks like a plant expert. Excuse me, sir. Quick question. Sorry, I was looking for someone to hopefully answer a question about the succulents you have. The potting room is original to the conservatory, so it's great to see what it would actually have looked like back in the late 1800s and early 1900s during the Vanderbilt time. This room is great to just sit back and relax, and of course there's so many plants that you can enjoy. I think Andrea and I would agree that the conservatory, we give it 2 thumbs up. When you come to the Biltmore, obviously there are stunning views, and it's really remarkable that all this land used to belong to Vanderbilt. Over periods of time, they either have given it or sold it to the government, but it's just remarkable the impact that the family has had with the surrounding area and helping it become like a national forest where it's been preserved. The tour of the house was amazing. Unfortunately, they don't let you record video, but we took as many pictures as we wanted, but we'll definitely show some highlights from that tour. The estate is owned and was once the home of the Vanderbilt family, who obtained their wealth through a transportation empire. America's largest home opened its doors in 1895 for family and guests to enjoy its 175,000 square feet and 250 rooms. Our tour starts on the ground floor where the billiards and main dining room are located. Billiards was a very popular game, and you can see the beads hanging in the room that were used to keep score. And of course, the main dining room is one of my favorite rooms since it looks similar to dining halls that you would see in European chateaus, which was Vanderbilt's inspiration for Biltmore House. It's no surprise that Vanderbilt was a fine arts collector, and throughout the tour you can see great works from artists like Monet and Renoir. In fact, during World War II, art and sculptures from the National Gallery of Art was stored at the Biltmore House for safekeeping. One of the most impressive artworks in the mansion is the Tapestry Gallery. These tapestries were were made in the 1500s in Flanders to dedicate the 7 virtues. Right past the tapestry gallery is the library, where George had acquired over 23,000 volumes by the time of his death. It is a remarkable collection of books covering all different topics and great pieces of literature. Vanderbilt spared no expense on the home and wanted every modern luxury possible, including a bowling alley, swimming pool, and gym, all located in the basement. It really shows you how advanced Biltmore House was. But right now, we decided to take a little bit of a break as we're in the courtyard. Of course, they have a dairy barn, some beverages, a cafe, gift shop, and we decided to get pimento cheese with a dip, and I got their iconic drink, which is called the Garden Party, which is made with their gin. How the gin is made is they take the rose petals from their garden and they take it to a distillery and it's mixed in with the gin. So it's really flavorful as you can kind of taste the rose petals in your mouth. But we're going to enjoy our afternoon and then we'll pick up with our tour later. We just completed our tour of the grounds in the house, and the opulence cannot be matched. I mean, it is just amazing. There's nothing like it in the United States. Once you enter, you feel like you're coming into a French chateau or a European castle, which is obviously the experience that you want to have. Andrea and I both agree, though, even a basic ticket, it's a little bit on the expensive side. So if you're looking to travel on a budget, maybe this isn't the opportunity for you. And just buying a ticket itself, that's just the beginning of the cost, because you have food, water, any extra things that you may do on the grounds. But what we're going to do from this point is our tickets came with a free wine tasting at the Village, which is a few miles down the road. So we're going to take advantage of that part of our mission since it came with it. So we'll check back in and stay tuned as we do some wine tasting and see the Village. So for the wine tasting, they have 12 different wines from their spring summer collection. My taste palette is more red, dry, whereas Andrea's is more white wine. But yeah, we're gonna pick some out and then we'll come back with our results.
None of those are sweet. They're all like your traditional dry.
Okay.
Because it's all in American and French oak, which makes the wine drier itself. That one's going to be the only sweet red.
Okay.
Yeah. I recommend starting at the top, working your way down through the body.
Cheers. It's really good. I do like the Malbec. You can smell the spices. It has a nice dry taste to it. The wine tasting was great. The Malbec wine was my favorite. Dry, it also had a great aroma to it. And shout out to Will, our bartender, super knowledgeable, and he even recommended purchasing some wine, like chilled wine since it's hot, and we can take it into the Village and drink it and watch a sunset. So we may do that, but we're gonna explore and see what else there is in the Village. In the middle of the Village, they have a free exhibit which shows how the Vanderbilts lived their life. Had some of their china, some of their costumes, as well as like a Louis Vuitton like trunk or travel suitcase that they had back in the day. So it's really cool how they lived a lavish and opulent lifestyle. And what's really great is it's completely free. Maybe takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go through the exhibit, but totally worth going through it at Antler Hill. Even though the Biltmore House may not be super engaging for kids, Antler Hill Village definitely delivers as far as being family friendly and kid friendly. They have a playground, trains, and other things here. Oh, can't forget ice cream as well. But it's a fun-filled center for the family. Now, should we go into the Creamery? I think we have to look. One of the early industries that they had here on Vanderbilt's land was dairy, hence why they want to have a creamery, honor that business endeavor that they had early on.
And why it's important that we stop, because we wouldn't be doing the estate.
I mean, I feel like ice cream's a must, no matter where we go.
Yeah.
We had to get ice cream. I got the vanilla and peach. Andrew got the vanilla and cappuccino crunch. Both look really delicious. The vanilla is exclusive to the Biltmore Estate, so it's something really unique to the Biltmore area. As this wraps up our day, we're going to enjoy our ice cream, maybe watch the sunset, and just enjoy our time here. I think for me personally, I really enjoyed the house. Andrea preferred the conservatory as well as the gardens. I'm sure it would look beautiful any time of the season, especially Christmas time. It is a little pricey, so you want to be aware of that. In Antler Hill Village, I think the wine tasting was really good. There's a lot to do here, especially for kids. So it's definitely a must-do after you enjoy going to the house and gardens. This is definitely worth the stop. But this concludes our tour, and stay tuned as we have more coming from Asheville. But until next time, keep on exploring.
Not get your ice cream because it's melting.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. Yeah. I feel like a wine connoisseur.
Tell me, what is the hint?
Blueberry, spices, and shockingly grapes.
Is it because the guide tells you that the Malbec should be blueberry and spices?
No, I figured that out with my own nose.
What about the plum?
I'm not getting a plum.
Ah, man, your connoisseurness is dropping.
Or maybe they went light on the plum. Who knows?
Something like that.